transparency here in data makes it difficult for us to understand all of the challenges that we have. But I take a look at the waiting list and the numbers that are come off the waiting list with an organ, and the percentages in the non-Hispanic minority racial communities versus the rest. It's much, much lower chance of getting an organ. And I tried to find out why that's the case, whether it's the ineptness of the OPOs that are in those regions, or whether it's UNOS's issues. But I know that there is a disparity here, and we need to do something about it. Ms. Goldring, you have experienced and currently experience the frustrations of being on a wait list and not being able to procure an organ transplant. Can you just share with us some of the experiences that you've had in regards to being on that wait list?
Excuse me. Yes, Senator. In regards of being on a wait list, I've gotten to a point to where I sit by the phone and wait and just wait, basically. Every day you're waiting for that chance to be able to get that one call, and it never comes. And so we're stuck battling the state when it comes to insurance. As somebody waiting on one transplant list, you want to be able to secure an organ in another state. Well, if I want to go to another transplant team outside of the state of Kentucky, I'm stuck dealing with the medical side of trying to figure out how can I qualify to go to the next team in response to not having protections against insurance discrimination. On top of the failures of UNOS, not calculating my GFR correctly, it delayed my process of being listed a whole year sooner for transplant. So I'm stuck on dialysis until I actually get that transplant. And then in the process of going and seeing various transplant teams and working with the OPO in my state, I've managed to talk to them about discrimination while still being discriminated against. And when I ask the same question, why are black and brown people, or just anybody that looks like me, are not being transplanted, they have no answer other than, well, we need more black donors. And my response is, why do we not see you in the hospitals actually securing organs for us? When it comes down to it, organ donation is not about your skin tone. Organ donation is about an individual looking for another chance at life, and that is all I'm asking for, a chance at having.
Ms. Cryer, do you have any views as to why it's much lower percentage chances for a racial minority to be able to have a transplant?
Yes, and it really does come down to UNOS not doing its job of overseeing the organ procurement organizations. We know that from many studies that black and brown communities donate organs in the same percentage they are of the population. So it is not a problem of willingness to donate. It is a problem, as Ms. Goldring was starting to discuss, about UNOS and OPO, not ensuring that OPOs go out into the communities, develop relationships far before that horrible decision is needed to made to donate the organs of a family member. Also, this underscores the importance of the transparency of data. If we don't have granular data that shows those specific disparities, whether it's racial and ethnic or rural and urban, we really can't solve the problem and continue to improve.
Mrs. McCarthy, do you have any view on this?
This is a topic that's been near and dear to the heart of our PAC for quite some time, and more than a year in advance of any movement on the eGFR calculation being racially biased. We raised this time and again with the UNOS leadership as something that was disadvantaging black patients. We were ignored. We were told to stop talking about it and bring it up, that it was a far too complicated topic for them to address, and basically we were dismissed. Although now, as a result of some of the movement forward, there's now a class action lawsuit by 27,000 black Americans to actually hopefully make right that which has been obviously a disadvantage for them.
Either the two of you want to comment on this? Be glad to hear from you.
So this is a multi-layer problem for which we need interventions at every layer. What we know from within the transplant community is that UNOS has failed to help us with data, and this is why it's so important for CMS and HRSA to require the recovery of data that's already being collected at centers and OPOs on processes that go from before the waitlist decision or from before somebody becomes a organ donor patient. So data will help us to address the parts of it that we can address within transplant.
Absolutely. Senator Cortez Masto.